I've listened to many of your interviews, one from back up at the, or boot at the gas pump. And that happened quite some time ago. And I'm sure that many things have changed and evolved since that time. And during that time, you had spoken your early life of growing up in Ireland and being part of a traditional Catholic school. Is that right?
Sure. But Irish Catholicism is a little bit looser than the US version. So it wasn't, well, fire and brimstone at all. It's we have a designer version of Catholicism in Ireland. Thankfully. Yeah.
Designer version. That's nice. I got the real thing over here. But when I just, why I asked that though, because I'm curious. I think that at a certain point you wanted to leave it. You were getting a degree in theology. And I remember your expression on the screen during that time when Rick Archer asked you if you completed it, because you had said to your parents you didn't want to, but they said, oh, you need to have your degree or whatever. And you said, okay. And I just wondered, was there at that time, so you were probably in your early 20s? Yeah. So was there something else influencing that, the choice to stay with spiritual life? Because often for women, the choice is either spirituality, God, or wife and motherhood. And I'm curious how that might have been, if that may have been influencing anything at that time. And what is your relationship around becoming a mother at the same time, while really being as dedicated as you are, this full-on approach to spiritual evolution? Did that question ever play in for you as a woman?
There's a lot of rich questions in there. Continuing with the degree in university was a financial reason. My parents were getting older. I was the youngest of 6. We'd all gone to university, and it was like, we're funding your education. You can't start again. You just can't start again. We can't do it. So it was to allow my parents to retire within the time frame that they had scheduled, and that's why I finished the degree. And so it was financial. I found it really, really difficult to sit and reproduce, regurgitate a patriarchal, dominant, head in the sand, detached from regular life rhetoric, because we were not trained to think, we were not trained to have our own autonomy and to submit our own ideas. There was no space for personal analysis, a personal opinion. It was literally, you reproduce what the Catholic Church believes. And so that was the degree in that time. I've never gone back. I have no idea what it's like now. I ran as soon as I got a piece of paper in my hand. And so it made me an atheist for sure. I had no way to weave through, where is God in these Catholic teachings? Where is God? I couldn't weed it out. And I tried to go to spiritual directors. I tried many ways, and I'm like, there is no love in this. There's no love in this. There's control, there's dominance, there's judgment, and there's no love. I'm done. So I left it. And some years later, I was 30, and the spiritual path knocked me on the shoulder and said, hey, look again, sweetie, look again. And so, it changed my life. I had a few spiritual experiences that knocked my socks off and that turned my life and my belief system upside down. I'm like, oh, holy moly, I have to reconsider all of this. I maybe did throw the baby out with the bathwater. And so of course, it's then my spiritual journey started and didn't stop anymore since then. And that's like 53 years ago. No, 23 years ago. I'm 53 now. So it meandered through various modalities, as does for most people, that we try different things because of what's appropriate at the time to learn and to grow is being presented from a different teaching place or a different experience. And so I did many different things on my path. At one point, I was 37, I think. I had left my marriage to go to God. It was like, I don't know if my Irish marriage to my Irish husband, if that is all about attachment. How do I know if I stay in the marriage? How do I know if I'm attached or not? How can I practice detachment and be in this marriage? And that idea ate me up. It ate me up. And I thought, I'm being forced out. I'm actually being pushed out of this marriage. I have to let go of everything in order to know, really know what non-attachment is. And so then when I was going solo, the question of, I need to decide solo if I'm going to be a parent or not. It's not me within a marriage deciding with a partner. It's me as a single woman now deciding, do I want to be a mother or not, regardless of half a decision being carried, making it with another who had the other half of the decision. And I sat for a long time with it. And the models historically are that women who have children are rarely in a position of spiritual leadership. Kind of, maybe never. To what I was exposed to at the time, never. So that was the modeling. There were none. And I knew in myself, if I do have children, my life will be about them, and it should be. It should be. It's so important to be present, totally present with the next generation. It's a great gift to the planet. Do I need to do that? Is that coming from an attachment to the idea? Is that coming from an expectation? Because all of my older sisters, 5 of them, all were moms. Where do I sit with that? Is that something I need to do? Or is this pull within saying it's an either or? And so as I went within, it's like, actually, I don't need to do it. I don't need it. I have no karmic obligation here to become a mom. Do I want to do it? And I could not find a stronger pull to be a mother than the pull that was there to go within, to be in silence, to disconnect from everything, to dive into the depth. That was the stronger pull. That was the stronger one.
So in not becoming a mother, like even in the relationship with the husband and leaving the husband and discovering, you know, can I be in this and be detached? Now, after leaving, did you find out that detachment could still happen? Because then you came into another relationship, regardless of being in a relationship or not. Like, how did that play out for you? This whole, and maybe even say, you know, for our listeners, what does detachment mean?
Are we willing to be solo, to have our own autonomy, to have our own human identity independent to those around us? Or do we define and find comfort and identity in our roles that we play, whether it's being a friend or a lover or a spouse or a parent or a child or a sibling? These roles, do they define who we are? And if we need something of that ilk, of our own reassurance, then we have a dependency on it that's not healthy.
Right.
It's not healthy.
Right.
So for me,
so you're not saying that the role cannot be there. It's the identification with it.
Yes.
All kinds of roles can be happening and playing out, but it's
Yes.
more the relationship to it and how you're relating to it.
That's right.
Is it serving something that you feel you need?
That's right. That's right. Is it compensating for something that I need to do for me, but I'm running it through somebody else or through my role or through my ideas of who I think they are in my life? And I learned through experience. If I teach it, then I've had the experience of it myself. It doesn't work for me any other way. I have to draw it from my own path that I've walked.
Mm-hmm.
And so I could not be sure that I could be in that first marriage in a way that was detached. I couldn't be sure. I felt I was fooling myself.
Mm-hmm.
And so being alone for a while, then I learned, okay, Jack, all right, there's certain skills that you didn't know you didn't have, but you need now. You need now. And so I learned a lot about myself by being not in relationship. And from that place, I had prepared myself to be in another or the next relationship in a different way. I come to it differently, with less personal needs, with less compensatory requirements.
Yes.
You see?
Yes,
So
yes.
being an independent woman in relationship for me is much healthier, much healthier.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, and then in that probably also, and you can let me know, is that the partner has to reflect the same. Yeah. So there's an evolution going on for both people, or otherwise it usually doesn't work out.
That's right. It usually doesn't work out. You know, you can bumble along for a while where somebody is hiding behind your own autonomy, but sooner or later, the rubber hits the road somewhere and it becomes very unequal. And a growth spurt happens or we break up.
Yes.
This is how it goes, you know? We can bumble along with our head in the sand for a long time, and many relationships do.